If they can last 3 hours, like a 3-hour leg, I will verbally commend them. Be like, good for you. Your prostate must be of normal size.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And then there's dudes that are like hour and a half. They're like, oh, we're going to need a break. I'm like, bro, your bladder is is literally a security risk at this point. Like, you can't be popping this door every 5 minutes. Sex, seniority, and salary in that order.
Rock on. You're on 121.5, the emergency frequency.
It's a show by professional pilots for professional pilots.
I looked back at them and I said, I don't think we're at the right airport. And they go, I don't think we are either.
Each episode, we bring you fascinating conversations with industry experts.
I think I should be a go-to on how to deal with 63, 64-year-old men.
You're going to chase it like a dog chasing a school bus.
But we're not just about the serious stuff. We're here to have fun.
Currently on an overnight in Orlando, and this is by far hell. This is the worst place on earth.
It's the whole thing.
The 21.5 Professional Pilots Podcast is your destination for everything aviation, whether you're cruising in the flight levels or just starting your journey. We are back on a chill Sunday. Hello, Max. Welcome to the 21.5 show.
A little too chill for my liking.
Max doesn't chill very well, as you'll learn if you've been a listener of the show for any amount of time. You know that
he zero chill.
He does not sit around and twiddle his thumbs. If you're new here, welcome. It's Dylan and Max on the 21.5 show, a show for professional pilots by professional pilots. Case in point, Max, not only an airline pilot, also a corporate pilot, GA pilot, drone pilot sometimes, I guess. I don't know.
Flight simulator pilot. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of flight simulator, you can sort of see my oldest son in the background playing flight sim right now. Make sure he's doing his fundamental air work, Max, in the background and not screwing around bouncing airplanes.
So we had this great idea, we're going to buy flight sim and like get the new flight sim, which is awesome. And, the full setup and our kids and like do this experiment.
Yeah.
Because I have a real airplane. So I'm like, this is great. I could like put them, and they even have like the best part is when you don't have to teach your kids to do something. They have this like flight training course that will teach them. And I figure if they could get through that and learn like basic airmanship and like, who knows, stalls or landing patterns, I don't know, anything. And then just put them in the real plane and see how well it translates. And my theory was it would translate like really well, like cut in the airplane time by 75% or something.
Yeah.
Well, and everyone's real excited for it. And then, of course, they board like 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really worked out.
Gavin, are you flying in Area 51 right now? Yeah, he's in Area 51. He's doing stalls. Actually, in his defense, Max, I'm watching him. He's doing quite a few stalls.
And we paid for this with podcast money, because it was like content generation and all that. And so now I'm like, what we really need to do, we need to take another $300 and say, all right, you can get my 10-year-old and you're 12-year-old now?
Yeah,
12-year-old. And they're the most likely candidates to actually complete this and put some money on it and be like, all right, whoever finishes these lessons. And we could either do it like I don't think it'd be whoever finished it first, just each of them say like, all right, $150.
See if you can complete this. Yeah.
Buy, and there has to be some sort of time frame.
Yeah.
Probably won't work.
Let's pay our kids to play video games, Max.
Yeah,
great idea.
That's
good call.
Listen.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Perfect.
The future.
Yeah. All right. Well, lots to get to today on today's show. Welcome to all of our friends. A lot of emails from people commuting, saying they listen while they commute. I was doing a lot of commuting this week. We're recording this after the great ATC government shutdown, all the things, meltdown last week, which was convenient. I had a relaxing 5 airline legs to fly that week,
Jeez.
2 in and out of Newark. And it was miserable. It was not a great week to be a passenger.
Yeah,
actually,
brutal out there.
Just brutal. I'll start. I had to fly to the East Coast, and then we were going to airline home. And so we land Teterboro, and I got a flight in the morning. The other pilot and I are going to go out for a nice dinner, some Italian food right by Newark. You got the hotel right next to the Newark airport. Everything's lining up perfect. Like 5:30, right as we're about to head out to dinner, you get the alert, flight canceled tomorrow. just like, ugh. And so, you immediately start looking at
This was the first flight out, I assume?
Yeah, this was leg 1 of 5. And I'm like, so we start going through, and if you're booking last minute and the next day, you're looking at middle seats and connections, and it was snowing in Chicago. It was just going to be terrible no matter how we did this. And so the best solution appeared to be to catch a flight that night back home to Phoenix. It was open. There were good seats available. And I was just like, I just have this rule of thumb that I've learned. It's like getting upgraded to first class is like the kiss of death. I'm now 2 for 2 on first class upgrades, and then the flight cancels.
It never happens.
It's like the if you want to get somewhere, the higher the probability is, the worse the seat is. That's what I've discovered. Like if the middle seat's available, if you suck it up and take it, you'll get there, but it's going to suck.
Aisle seat next to the lav?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. You get flight's on time, 100%. Yep. Going. So anyways, that was my situation. So I'd flown all the way West Coast to East Coast, sitting at the hotel there. It's 5:30. If I rush off, I can catch the 5-hour flight home to Phoenix, and I'll have been up for about 22 hours at that point.
I used to do that to myself every year. I remember we'd fly out to Teterboro, and they'd stay there for like a week or whatever. And I'm in an airline home, and I'm like, you know what? And United had this like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.
that was what it was.
Flight.
It was the 7
was
p.m.
that one? Yeah, it gets in at like 11 something at night, right? It's brutal, dude. You go all the way there, and then
catch the 7 p.m. go home.
Gross,
and then the best part was, of course, the flight was about an hour late getting off the gate, so we got off about 8, and then pushed and then waited in line for almost 2 hours before we took off. I mean, so it was just like I was sitting for just a horrific amount of time that day. Like it was just permanent damage.
There should be a carve out in the FARs that if you have over that many delays, you're allowed to take at least a 5 milligram edible of cannabis.
Oh my gosh.
Just because, if it things are that bad, there should be a little exemption.
I was just, so I
rolled.
They
have all those exemptions in dispatch, for fuel planning.
Right. Exemption 3585 is that one
exactly.
of them?
Exemption.
You're allowed 3 ounces of red wine.
Yeah, you're
just to calm the nerves. Oh my gosh, that was just so brutal. And it was one of those where I think I told the story earlier in the year on the show how we taxied out. I was, of course, in a first class seat taxiing out of Newark. We got in line, and then all of a sudden the crew just timed out, and they're like, "Oh, that's it," and taxi all the way back. And I thought for sure between the fuel and the timeout, like we were totally screwed, but not the case. Shout out to the crew. We did get home. So that was a long day. Then on the and Newark was just a disaster, right? Because I think there's a runway closed right now. I mean, there's just a million airplanes in line. It's just horrifying. So then, faced with that choice and knowing how bad it was, going back, we're like, you know what? Let's just cut Newark out of the equation. It's too bad.
Oh, yeah. Good. Let's go to LaGuardia or JFK? It's much
JFK.
Better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good call.
So we went to JFK. Great seat on the flight. Flight's on time. Everything's panning out. So the flight went smoothly. So then what had to happen next to really bring the travel down? A 2.5-hour Uber ride to get back to Teterboro.
Joby Air with our next sponsor.
I think it was like less than that 30 mile as the crow fly journey. So it was like and then of course the flight to Newark that we could have taken got in early somehow.
God,
I mean, like how
driving out there is just
it's
painful.
So bad.
That's what in the airline deal we overnight like in Times Square, and it can just be brutal. Like it's an hour, at least an hour, and then when you drive on the turnpike in New Jersey, I remember we used to drive like Teterboro. I'm like, all right, no radio. This is
everyone's got to focus.
Yeah,
you cannot miss your
cockpit.
turn.
You cannot miss the exit because you're in for a
screwed.
40-minute loop. It's not like Arizona. You just pop off at the next one. No big deal. Like, dude, it is over if you miss the exit on the turnpike.
So we had a huge 2.5 hours. So I mean, it was one of those things that was like, well, we know we're going to get there if we go to Kennedy. We'll be fine, but then we've got to just eat this turd sandwich to complete the journey. I don't know. Someone's going to email me and tell me what a dumb idea going to Kennedy was. I understand. I mean, What are you going to do?
It's New York. Nothing makes sense.
Right, I know. It
Especially
is what it is. But then we did top it off. Have you ever been to Steve's Sizzling Steaks? Oh my gosh.
No.
It's right down the street from the Element at Teterboro. Have you stayed at the Element in Teterboro?
No.
You haven't been to Teterboro. You don't really ever go to Teterboro. They built this really cool Element that's like literally almost across the highway from Teterboro. I mean, it's 3 minutes away from Meridian. And it's got this insane like rooftop bar, and it's just all the pilot. It's all crew, but anyways, it's pretty
just
good.
like the Hilton Hasbrook Heights used to be.
Yeah, like it used to be. Yeah, it's the new version of the Hasbrook Heights.
The new Hasbrook Heights.
So,
Teterboro, dude.
Anyways, yeah.
Listen to this. Last time I went to Teterboro was in the XLS, and we looked at it, and there's a decent wind, and I'm like, I think we can make this nonstop. And I'm like, we're gonna have to pull it back and ride the wave, pull it back from 7.5. So I asked the owner, I'm like, listen, here's the deal, I can pull it back and we can sail it all the way to Teterboro. I think, worst case, the winds we'll just land. But I'm like, but it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be like six something.
Oh
like
my
over
goodness!
6. I'm like, or we can stop mid-continent, get out, take a leak, get some sandwiches, whatever you want to do. He's like, let's send it. So we did it. Dude, I remember I didn't even take a bath. I didn't go to the bathroom either. Somehow. Wow. I know. We were like looking at each other like halfway. I'm like, what have we done? What have we done?
This is too much.
But we made it. Scottsdale, Teterboro, and XLS. I should have called the some sort of record, some sort of route pair. I could have set the speed. I could have set the speed record in the XLS because no one had done it.
No one's ever done that before. Well, this leads me in like 3 different directions of topics that I want to talk to you about, and I don't want to forget any of them. So remind me to come back here. 1, I've also had to do a fairly long leg coming back in a cabin class airplane where you can stand up and go use the lav, and it's not a big deal to use the lav. It's not like an airplane where you got to like close like huge curtains and you're like going to the bathroom in front of the passengers. What do you think like is where you're not disturbing your passengers? What's the acceptable leg length where it's like, oh, okay, this is reasonable that the pilot's coming back and going to the bathroom?
I fly with a lot of different pilots of different ages at the airlines, and some if there's a dude that is 55 and really 50 and over, if they can last 3 hours, like a 3-hour leg, I will verbally commend them. Be like, good for you. Your prostate must be of normal size. Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And then there's dudes that are like hour and a half. They're like, oh, we're going to need a break. I'm like, bro, your bladder is is literally a security risk at this point. Like you can't be popping this door every 5 minutes. But listen, physiology is what it is.
Okay. That's interesting.
So,
my question
is that there's a big range person to person. So it's hard to put a number. But if I had to answer your question, if you're under 40, 3 hours. And if you're over 40, 2.5.
Okay. Like, so if you're the owner, if I'm your pilot and you're the owner sitting in the back and we're in like, Challenger or G280 or whatever, you're raising your eyebrows if the dude's coming back to pee sub 2-hour flight, right?
Probably.
You're kind of like, really?
But what about like
what if
the door to the cabin is shut?
It was. So you got to do a little knock, a little courtesy knock.
What if it's just like the owner and his new girlfriend back there and the door's shut? Like, where do you do then? You better have a piddle pack.
I don't know. This judgment call.
Put a cup to the door in your ear.
Right.
Listen. Mm-hmm. I don't hear anything.
I know. It's a tightrope. It's a real fine line. These are the hard hitting topics that we're facing these days.
I had no idea it was going to go here.
Item number 2 I wanted to mention. You talked about flying very slowly in the XL. I've recently got some time in a CJ at going 0.59.
Didn't we talk about this?
I don't know if we did.
I think we did last time.
Did we? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
because remember I was like, how many knots is that? Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then my last thing to finish up this ATC chaos stuff. By now, I'm sure everyone's aware that there are 12 major airports that have banned GA. And right now, I believe the NOTAM says it extends through the end of the year. My question to you, well, 1, an observation. Las Vegas curiously not on the list of airports there, which I found was hilarious.
Yeah.
And if you
Even
go
though
down,
it's PPR and all this
PPR,
nonsense,
everything, it's always busy. There's always delays.
Dude, no matter 121 or any other thing else, it's always
how
an EX.
convenient that one didn't make the list. And if you look at the list of airports, there are almost no airports where GA flies into, hardly at all, with the exception of our sister airport just down south of us, Sky Harbor, which sees a fair amount of corporate traffic. Other than that, like Boston Logan, okay, a little bit. O'Hare, I mean, to me, it just seems
the
like
difference is, I think, that's weird about. Well, the difference is that those airports, there are a lot of other options. In Phoenix, you can go to Scottsdale, Deer Valley, Mesa, whatever. There's a million airports, right? Like, what if you were trying to go to San Francisco? Like, you can go to
San Francisco's not on the list.
That's my point. Like, maybe they excluded the ones where it's like there's not a great other. I mean, you can go to Oakland or you can go to Hayward or whatever. But I'm just saying, my point is that some of those airports, like, you're kind of forced to go if you're trying to go to downtown SFO, San Francisco, because that's the closest one.
My thought is what are the airports we can say are on this banned list that optically almost won't impact nobody? Will have no impact. It's just like, we're cracking down on the private jets into these airports.
I'll tell you who's going to impact is the FBO, dude. What if
that was my next point. And it's almost all Signature seems to have the monopoly on all of the FBOs at the big airports. So I'll be curious how that's going to work. I actually flew an airplane out of LAX after the ban started, and that was already happened to already be on the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
LAX gets a little bit.
But you have Hawthorne right next door, but
yeah.
If it's wet or whatever, that's
I don't know. To me, this list of airports was just a little fishy. Like, I looked at it and I was like, this. I don't know.
You gotta wonder, like, who's making these decisions?
Did we do this for optics, or is there a real legitimate thing? And the other thing has how they announced the ban, and it started like less than 12 hours later. There was no warning. There was no. I mean, it was just like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. More questions and answers. If anyone's got any insight on that, let me know. And you can, if you're a based aircraft, you're still allowed to do it too. I don't know if we mentioned that either. You can still fly in and out of the airport. So it's more the transient airplanes. But anyways, that's my rant for the week. What about you, Max?
I don't have as much negativity like you.
No, you got a lot out. That was
I already had
last.
I had my
we got a couple. We got a couple response emails. We got a couple response emails from your rant. So that's good.
Well, listen. I feel how I feel sometimes.
Okay, well, let's shift gears to general aviation. Let's focus on the positive here. No restrictions on your Cub, right? I mean, you're still able to go out.
Yeah. Some weather restrictions here in Phoenix, the rare rain. But no, I got to get out in the Cub, get a little nasty on Friday. Flew around, landed at some new off-airport spots. Always exciting. Sometimes you land and you're like, oh, that's a big rock I didn't see. Glad I didn't land 5 feet to the left. But
jeez.
But yeah, no, it's fun, dude. I love. It's just it's weird. After a while, like with this airplane specifically, I've gotten very comfortable flying low and like you get comfortable flying very close to things, like trees when you're landing, or like terrain when you're flying an approach, like 30 feet off your wing is like the hill, and that used to at first really freaked me out. Now it was actually kind of staggering. I was like, wow, I feel like I'm like too comfortable flying.
Yeah, right.
This is now like not like lackadaisical, but you just I don't know. It was just kind of weird. It just kind of hit me, but it's a blast. And now it's getting cooler, so then the airplane performs better at these higher altitude airports, and it's just a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm like, I get back and I'm like, this is my jam. I would get rid of a lot of other hobbies before this one.
And you have you put new shocks on there, so you're just
got those new shocks. I got the suspension tail wheel, which is like, I think that thing, honestly, that might be the first thing you would have to buy. If you bought a stock airplane, I think the first thing would be the upgraded tail wheel. because like normally it's just like a leaf spring and a tail wheel,
right.
right? And like if you whack that thing, like
I remember
even with this tail wheel, you got to get good at like holding it. Like I don't put the tail on the ground until the stick is all the way to the forward stop. Now, like
really?
I run out of aerodynamic, authority to keep the tail because like I land tail low, like almost a tail wheel landing, but then I try and keep the tail wheel up because that's the thing that you hit, and there's just it's all the way back there. There's a long arm between the main gear.
Right.
It's not a lot going for it, but
yeah, I remember that when I was doing the Super Cub training. Like when you land tail first,
it. Yeah, but that's the thing. What's funny because you're doing these really slow landings, right? So you're getting the nose way up, and you're like up, but you kind of got to get it till the tail's just.
It's that little derotation.
And then it's sort of like a wheel landing. When you hit, you got to start adding it forward to try and, as you're braking though, right? So you can't, so then the tail's coming up as you're hitting the brakes but with the big tires, the brakes aren't as sensitive, right? Because, so it's, as we say, it's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
It's just, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. It's a good time.
I like it. Good.
No, so I was going to tell you this. So we were talking about the layover guides, and we have a Chicago one now, right? Coming in?
It's coming in hot, baby.
Coming in hot. So I was in Chicago not too long ago, and I was like, I was kind of down in Chicago. Like it's cold now. Like Chicago in September that's the best.
Spectacular.
Because it's hot.
Yeah.
In the summertime. And Chicago does have an incredible rooftop scene.
Unbelievable rooftop scene.
And September is like just right in the zone.
Yeah.
Like it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's nice out. You got all these rooftops to go
views. To. And you have like a view from the rooftop too. Like there's a lot to see.
It's actually there's actually a lot. Yeah. And we were talking about this. That Chicago as hard as it is for me to say, because I think Chicago might be my favorite downtown. There's a lot going on in Chicago.
A lot going on in Chicago. I agree.
That River North. Oh,
if you take all of the if you look at like all of the different opportunities combined, like the recreational opportunities plus the dining plus the entertainment, it's
pretty good. Like there's a lot going on, and but so this kind of brought me back.
Put me if some December, I want to be in New York City.
Put it this way. The other thing about Chicago is I ain't riding on the L a lot anymore. It's gotten a little scary. And do you have that Citizen app? You know what that is?
No.
You know what? So the Citizen app is an app on your phone, and you'll pop up with alerts like in here in our little bubble in Scottsdale, you'll get like, a rattlesnake, and someone's called the fire department, or something like that, dude. Or you, but
it's a little bit more serious over there.
DC or Baltimore or Chicago, it's like nude man in the lobby of a hotel, and then 5 minutes later, police are responding to shots fired, and like a man with a knife and a stabbing, and this like you get all the stuff. You're like, dude, and it's a lot of it, stuff shenanigans going on the train. So, but if you kind of stay, in the right zone, it's still pretty good in Chicago. But it brought me back. So I was based in Chicago at the regionals. Like this is in what was that? 2004?
Late 2000. Yeah, mid 2000s. Yeah.
And so we would be just off this stop off the Blue Line. It's like 2 stops, wasn't it? Cumberland exit.
Cumberland, shout out.
And it was kind of like, it wasn't rough. It just wasn't nice, right? Like
it was fine. It was, I would say, standard Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, and very, very kind of blue collar and like, and so. And at that time on reserve, we were kind of sitting around in reserve, and my first trip ever, I get there, right? And we would get assigned ready reserve. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And so I got assigned ready reserve. I had to be in the crew room at I think 5 a.m. or whatever, right?
Yep.
So I get in the night before and get to my crash pad. I put my sheets on my bunk bed. I set my alarm and go to bed and wake up to a phone call. And it's my other buddy, Eric, he was a few months ahead of me there. He's like, how's ready reserve, dude? And I'm like, what? And I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, and it's like 5:15 or something. I was supposed to be at the airport, right? And I don't know what happened. So I pop up and I'm freaking out, right?
Meanwhile, there's 9 other guys in the bedroom with you. You're waking
I'm
up.
like, oh, and I throw my stuff on. I run out the door, run to the train, and I call crew scheduling. They were cool. They're like, I think they knew that was like my first. They're like, it's okay. Just, let us know when you're there. Blah, blah. They were totally cool. So I run up there, and at this point in my life, I hadn't ridden a lot of subways and trains and stuff. So I run on there, I run up the stairs, put my card in, I get on the train, and I start going. And then I realize I took the train. It's going the wrong direction.
Going right downtown.
Going to next stop. Figured it out. Luckily, in one stop, get off, run up the stairs, over to the other side, get back on the train, get to the airport. And I'm just like, oh. But at that time when we were on reserve, I don't remember what the deal exactly, but I just remember we spent a lot of time in the crash pad. Like there was a lot of days you wouldn't fly or whatever. Like we were well staffed or I don't know, whatever. So I remember we would, we were in Chicago. It totally made me think of this. So I would go to this bar. Well, there was a takeout Chinese place, and then there was this like total blue collar like bar next door, and we would go to the takeout Chinese place, and like we'd eat it like kind of outside, so we didn't really know, and like, and then we'd go into the bar. The guy's like, "You guys can eat the food here." Like they didn't serve food; it was just a bar. We're like, oh, so then our move would be, and this is if there was other people there or by myself, I'd go to the Chinese place, get my food, and then go sit at the bar. And then like one day, I remember it was these guys. It was kind of this group. They'd meet there, and I can't remember how. Somehow I got invited over to the group of these middle-aged dudes, and like they were like garbage men and like worked for the city and like had the the coats on with their name on it and the whole thing. And I kind of like became friends. And I'm 22 or 23 years old, and became buddies with all these middle-aged blue-collar dudes. But it was awesome because I didn't know any people like that like before. Yeah. It was awesome. So we'd go there. I'd drink a bunch of beers with these guys, and they were like, it was like literally like Vinny and their names. Yeah. It was like a TV show. It was like my own Cheers. It was the best.
Everybody knows your name. It's perfect.
Yeah, and sometimes I'd go and I'd fly, I wouldn't see him, and I'd come back like 2 weeks later, like, where you been? I'd sit down and have beers, like, just PBRs or something. It was
Goose Island.
I don't know. It was actually a good time.
That's pretty funny.
I don't often look at the time of the regionals as a good time, but that part was
pretty
good,
right?
That
okay.
All
right. Well, your job now, Max, you mentioned it. We're making a Chicago layover guide. Your job is to now go find that bar so we can. Because it's probably walkable from the Cumberland crash pads.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't have a car, dude.
There you go.
But we could talk about
valuable.
This. Well, I'll give you a little teaser. Mm-hmm. There's this one bar called Tanta, and it's a Peruvian restaurant, and they have a banging rooftop, and they have this drink called the El Chingón. And the El Chingón is like a tequila mezcal drink, but the center of the drink is it's a bright red ice ball, and it's made from like a puree of a ricotta pepper and stuff. And so what you do this is the move. If you're there, and it's much better in the summer, and you'll see why. So what I normally do is when you go to Tanta and you go on the rooftop and you order like a ceviche, and you order an El Chingón, and then you order another drink, a beer or whatever, something that you want to drink right away. Because as the pepper ball melts, the drink gets spicier and spicier. So you kind of swirl it around, you take a little sip, you're like, oh, no, not yet. And
uno momento.
Unfortunately, when it is cold out, it takes quite some time for the pepper ball. So
you're telling Christian
later, you're like, oh, there it is.
There we go. Christian, you're going to love this here.
Yeah. We're going to be here for a minute.
You talked this place up for a while.
Yeah,
I actually had that fairly recent. I think it was last summer. Yeah, summer of 24. I was there and visited Tanta. Still there.
Still good. Still delicious.
That'll be on
yucca chips and the ceviche. It's just it's a vibe.
It is quite a vibe. So the layover guides, if you don't know what they are, on the website. We'll have a link in the show notes. We put all of the tips just like that. And Max,
can we put that much detail in?
You can. I'm going to make you type that one out. I think it sounds like it's quite a bit there. Yeah, I don't know if Reggie can handle that. But so it's great because we take the tips from people and we crowdsource all the information. Our friends at ProPilot World are collaborating with us on this one. So we have a huge thread on ProPilot World talking about this right now, and just got a million. See, it's really interesting because all the local Chicago guys are in there. So what do you think? Chicago, what do you think everyone's going to be thinking? deep dish pizza,
please
right?
don't talk Giordano's or like.
And everyone's talking shit about Giordano's, and everyone says that's the worst one to go to. And a couple people have mentioned some deep dish, but it's surprising how many local Chicago people are actually going thin crust, like tavern style pizza. So, I mean, this one's going to be
I'm
big.
over the deep dish.
Yeah,
It's kind of like like premium steakhouses.
Exactly.
I'm kind of over that too. It's just such a gluttonous, just it's disgusting.
$42 mashed potatoes.
But we left, and the guy fly for it. He's like, just like, yeah, whatever. Do you want me to get lunch? Sure. Yeah, just grab whatever. So I grabbed. I found the finest Italian beef sandwiches.
I am so excited that you found the place that I would have sent you to by Midway.
Oh, really?
We go to the same place. Yeah, we go to Tony's.
Forget about it.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I would tell you, if you're in a hurry, call, even if you don't, even if you don't think it's the lunch rush, like
it's always the
call
rush.
it in. Yeah. But dude, I put those things in the oven at like 170 and then pulled that thing out and his head about exploded.
It's funny because the last time we were there, our passengers showed up early and the Tony's was getting delivered by DoorDash. And I'm watching the DoorDash guy come and he's just like 2 minutes too late. And the hardest thing we had to do was like,
you left without the Tony's?
We had to leave without the Tony's. He was like pulling in and we're just like looking and everyone's ready to go. I'm like, oh. So we like told the Atlantic girls, enjoy.
I had to make a preemptive trip, an early trip to the lab on that one, just to wash the filth off my hand. It was beyond a wet nap at that point.
That's funny because when we were ordering it, I sent the menu to our passengers to be like, hey, we're getting these if you guys want them. And the response was like, I don't think I'm up for that.
Dude. Tony's is no joke.
Yeah. So it'll all be on the layover guide. What an incredible tease for the layover guide. Man, if this is your first episode of the 21.5 show, your head's got to be swimming right now. I don't even know if you can keep up. We move fast. We've got a lot of different topics that we like to hit in the rambling portion of the show.
I have taken though from business aviation to the airlines is like, I think the typical airline move is to go to the hotel where you get the discount, right?
Yep.
And like now I've kind of created, like I use Google Maps same, and I like favorite places, and I have my own database now,
right?
And like that's my move. I always find like the place, because then it gets you excited to go to the overnight.
Of course, like you got to be looking forward to that. And it's so much better now. I mean that's I would say one of the main things for me is that when I was an airline pilot, there was no Uber.
Yeah, but you know, well, it depends on the now.
It depends on where you stay, but I'm just saying, like, it's so much easier for you to be mobile now. And that great pizza place that guy told me about.
Or you just take one of the Lime scooters and whatever.
All that stuff wasn't around.
Yeah, you're
15 years ago.
A $20 cab ride everywhere.
Cab ride. Somebody's going to call a cab. Who knows when it's going to come?
Or you got to beg the hotel shuttle. And
will the shuttle driver take you
100 years? Yes.
Yeah. So it's a big change.
But now I almost never have to do that. It's always like now our hotels are, in a tourist or downtown location.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And everybody it takes too long to get downtown, blah, blah, blah. But the good news is with the density, you get a lot of options. So
yeah, I guess American Eagle wasn't maybe paying for the
but we were at like some Hampton Inn, in Bloomingdale, or
you will have a gas station and a Subway within walking distance.
Yeah,
that was about the guarantee.
Yeah, it was.
Oh boy,
it's not the same.
Not the same. All right. Well, any other musings before we get on with the show?
No, that's all. That's all that's been on my mind.
Okay, it's good. I like it.
Flying a ton
lately. We've clients. All right, good. Up next, Max, some reviews, some comments. I went to YouTube for this. Lots of activity. I gotta apologize if you're someone that leaves comments and asks questions on YouTube. That's not the greatest spot to like get our attention. I'll be honest with you. We don't get any type of alert that people. So like once a month, I go in there and like read stuff. So it's a bit harder. info@215podcast.com is the best way to get to us. Leaving a comment on TikTok or something else, that's just gonna.
Where are we at with
the ether.
Talking to Ty about the 1 hour call out?
We'll get to that. Oh, we're getting there. Let's focus on YouTube first. Reviews and comments. Look, we love when we hear from the listeners. If you shoot us a review, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, especially Apple Podcasts. That really helps. We will, if we read your review, we will send you some stickers. Just shoot us an email with your address, your mailing address, and I'll happily drop some stickers in the mail for you. We've got another large load of stickers going out next week. So lots.
So you sending one to my boy Tony?
Yes, that's an email that's coming up. We'll get to you. Keep jumping ahead. You keep jumping ahead. Why don't you go ahead and
It's so the listeners truly know that I have no idea what's coming next on the show.
All right. Go with the first one.
Tony Har 737 said, "Keep the rants coming. Laugh so much in the car, thankfully by myself, when listening to that. Wheeling out the typewriter now. Sound of that thing hammering away in the open plan office is going to be a joy. Love the podcast. Keep them coming. I laugh and learn at the same time. Magic." Is that referring when we were talking about watches?
Yeah.
In the mechanical watch?
You're right. All right. Next
one
is
like the NDB approach, dude.
Yeah.
Someone else called me up for that recently too. Old school. I forget where you came from.
PB Airsoft Man says, "So glad I found this podcast. You guys are great."
COTS 1v9. Apparently, the pro tip for the neck pillow is to swap it to the front and wear it backwards so you can lean your head down.
Tried that for a little bit.
Can you sleep like that with your head down?
That's not a real great position for me personally. There probably are some people, everybody sleeps differently. My old college roommate, Kristen, she had long hair, and when she would commute, she would put her hair so far down and then her hair between her back and the seat, and then she would lean forward, but her hair would be stuck on her back, so it would keep her head up, right?
Come on.
She could just sleep like that. It's crazy. So,
I think if you got the head rests that slide up and then you can fold the sides in, that's
fine. Yeah.
That's where I can
lean
my
good.
head to the side. Then I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
That's pretty good.
I always worry about snoring though, like if I'm like stuffed up or something. You ever seen that guy just sawing logs in the cabin?
It's a power move. It's great. Just get back there and everybody knows you're having a peaceful flight.
God, it's been a minute since I've sat in the back.
Let's see here. Last one is from Travis Boren. He says, "Seniority is everything at the airlines, but seniority isn't everything in life. Good perspective that hits with me." I think that was a quote from James from a few episodes ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. That does hit.
It is good.
Let's put it in the James quote book.
Yeah, that's actually a really good
merch going.
We
need like a silhouette we could make of James with a turtleneck on, and he kind of has like tall hair.
Yeah.
And
that'd be actually pretty easy to do.
And slap some quotes of his quotes down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Put that in the database. I know you've started.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Get on that. That is going to do it for the comments section for right now. If you've got
those are all from YouTube.
That's all from YouTube. Oh, dude,
YouTube?
that was 1/10 of the YouTube. So there's so many on YouTube.
Oh, you filter through these?
Yeah, some of them are like replying directly to something we said in the episode, so that it's out of context. So if you like read it, it just wouldn't make any sense.
Also, you don't filter out anything negative, right? Like if people,
correct. And we're about to read a negative email here in just a minute.
Good.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say sometimes I feel like we don't get as many negative. People think we're like, filtering them out. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. No. So anyways, yeah. If you want to shoot us a review, info215podcast.com, or hit us up on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Max, as you can tell, is reading all of them right away. He gives me a daily report.
Finger on the pulse
of the community.
Feedback. I take some advice from Joe Rogan. I don't read the comments.
But you have the comments read to you. That's even better.
I prefer to have the comments read to me.
Read to me as I'm relaxing in my chair.
It's like my wife. I prefer to be driven, not to drive.
Yeah, exactly. All right. On to the mailbag, Max, which is, of course, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Aircrew Academy. Do you want Reggie to read this, or do you want to read this? No, you know what? Reggie's going to have to read this because I didn't paste it in there.
Quickly.
This episode is brought to you by Advanced Aircrew Academy, the training you actually want to finish before your coffee gets cold. Let's talk about their aircraft performance module. The one that reminds you why V-speeds aren't suggestions and why leaning on the FMS for math is a dangerous hobby. Advanced Aircrew Academy breaks it all down with real-world examples, scenario-based lessons, and zero soul-crushing monotone narration. You'll refresh everything from accelerate stop, to second segment climb without feeling like you're studying for your ATP all over again. And flight department managers, their tracking system makes proving compliance so easy it feels like cheating, but it's not. It's just good software. So level up your knowledge, stay sharp, and avoid being that pilot in the safety meeting. Hit up aircrewacademy.com, where smarter pilots get even smarter.
Boom.
All right. Could I ask him a question?
Yeah. No, keep saying it's not available. We'll try again in a little bit.
Well, I had a question right now.
Well,
I was going to ask him about why relying on the FMS numbers is a bad thing.
FMS numbers. Do you rely on them?
I do not rely on them.
I
use them in singularity with discretion.
So at Southwest, do you get a load closeout that comes over ACARs and then you type and does it tell you what your numbers are, like your V speeds are and your trim and everything? Or do you like enter numbers into the FMS and it generates all that?
No. Well, it comes in via ACARs and then there's a load prompt and it loads and then you check it against, but you check the message data against what loaded actually in the FMS that's going to be displayed. And then we have a backup to that, which is like, it's literally an app on your iPad that looks like the FMS. So you tap in and send it in, and then it sends it back on there. And then you have to manually enter the data. And then there's another software too. We have an app too that can run the performance. That's legit.
So you can double check it.
Yeah. We have 3 different ways of doing it.
Yeah. We have where we can do it on the FMS, but then also we do the takeoff performance stuff through ForeFlight. So it's nice because it gives all this stuff so you can cross check.
Well,
so
and there's like a lot more options too.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
You probably don't know about this, Dylan, because the Challenger does not have auto brakes, but in the Gulfstream 280, the superior midsize product, it has some auto brake options, and you can be like it has a lot of and you can do RCC codes in there. Condition codes,
right,
and stuff like that. So obviously, if it counts, when it's close, you use that data, and if you're taking off of a 10,000 foot runway, you just.
Well, as we learned from Dr. Broyhill in the last episode, you're either go minded or you're stop minded, right?
Right,
like that. All right. Thank you, Advanced Aircrew Academy, for prompting this great discussion. On to the mailbag. Go ahead.
So, I am putting this in the form of an email rather than a review because I know how you guys hate anything less than 5 stars. Where did you get that impression? When has that ever been said?
Well, if we're talking dinners,
just to be just to be clear, I hate anything other than an honest review. So, if your review is anything less than 5 stars, please
bring it.
Let me start by saying that I have been listening to your podcast pretty much since the beginning, and it is definitely my favorite aviation podcast. I fly Part 91 business jets, phenoms, and helicopters, and what attracted me to your show was that you spoke my language. The content was meaningful to a corporate/business pilot and was entertaining, but especially useful and informative for our segment of the industry. This is what has made your show unique. Lately, however, it seems you're becoming more and more just another advice platform for aspiring pilots. A podcast for aspiring pilots by professional pilots. There seems to be many podcasts out there that are fulfilling that need, but you stood alone in providing a platform for non-airline professionals. I realize that you need to be guided by your listeners. I just encourage you to continue to provide the important, timely information for the business/personal jet crews that you used to, operational control, etc., and the flight department issues, equipment, industry, and insurance issues, contract and salary trends. You don't need to read this on the air. In fact, I would prefer you didn't. No, nice. I did not read this before, so you know. I just wanted to give a little constructive feedback. Love your show. I don't know why you would prefer we didn't read it on the air. Like
I think it was a great
like we
email.
just said, we're not going to filter out the negative stuff. So, but you know what? The man has a point.
Absolutely.
Maybe we've been getting a little too much. Here's the thing: we work with what we get, and we get a lot of flight advice requests, but. And that's, I suppose that's low hanging fruit for us because then we just read it and, versus like subject matter expert topics, but I do love to get a little dirty in the details with the subject matter. So
yeah, I mean, like the technicalities of the melting ice cube with the Tonto pepper. I mean,
the
we're getting
pepper.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
No, I
it's
agree.
all about radiant heat versus ambient temperature.
Exactly.
If we could get into the math real quick, Reggie, where are you at on the?
Reggie's
how quickly
unavailable.
does a Rocoto pepper ball melt versus September at noon in Chicago?
It really is a good email, though, and it's a great point, and it's going to help us start the conversation right now about what to do, because we've got a problem. Not a problem, but we've got to figure out how we're going to deal with this. So I went through, what I do is I go through all the emails that we get, right? And then we like to read them in the mailbag and discuss them, and a lot of people have some interesting stuff that they want to say, but a lot of it is advice. I would say 70% of it is advice. And we're kind of on an unsustainable path right now, because the way that our show works is we've typically done the mailbag, then we do the flight advice segment where we tackle somebody's situation, which I think is a really good format. The problem is when all the emails are advice too, the whole thing kind of turns into advice, but we're like drowning in advice emails now. So we have, probably 30 of them that are just sitting there that we haven't gotten to. And it's like, well, this is going to take us a year to get through these. So we start to read some in the mailbag, but then that doesn't feel right. So I'm kind of thinking out loud here. I'm just wondering, what do you think, Max, what you should do here? Because I agree. I don't want every email to just be
people that want to hear shitty advice.
Yeah, right. Which is probably wrong anyways, most of the time. So, but I also want to help. People are also emailing us. So my idea is to, like, once a quarter, we just do a blowout episode with James where we just try and bang through, or Ted or whoever we want, but just like
rapid fire advice.
Just rapid fire through them once a quarter and try and clear out the backlog, because I feel bad, and a lot of these people are like, I have 2 job offers. What do I need to do tonight? I'm like, dude, we're not getting back to you with an email. Like, our turnaround time is not fast enough for that. So I don't know.
So what's the question?
I'm just asking you. What do you
think? I don't know,
dude.
I can't sit here and go through. How many flight advices are you proposing going through in a row?
I don't know. I just don't. I'm stuck on like what we should do to give the people what they want, but also just not have every show overwhelmed with it. So my proposal is
I think,
once a quarter.
What you need to do is we can cut back on the flight advice. If you would finally get off your duff and buy an airplane, then you'd have some more general aviation stories.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. I need more content. Yeah, that's.
You know what? Get my sister on the line here. Let's work this out real quick.
Yeah, there's only one last person we need to convince.
There's only one reason. There's only one thing standing in the way.
Got everything else figured out.
Well,
everything else is figured out.
You're on the list, though, right?
Yeah, I am still on the list. That'll take a little while. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? You're not willing to do a once a quarter flight advice episode?
I don't know. Those flight advices take a lot sometimes.
Take a lot out of you. Yeah. Well, you contemplate it.
Who wants to listen? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
I don't want to do that many flight advices in a row, so I'd have to think people don't want to listen to that.
I know.
Much of our...
So I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to tell you. I feel bad that everybody is writing in.
I guess we can't at some point. Like, we can't do every flight advice.
That's the thing. Yeah, we can't, and we already don't. And I just feel bad for people that are writing in and hoping that we're going to get it. And it's just like, it's a big numbers game for us. So if you've got a suggestion, or let us know. If maybe a lot of people would listen to an advice session, or maybe it's just a live broadcast with James and Max calls in sick for. It's just me and James.
We've talked about this too. We've talked about maybe doing that in like a live format.
Yeah.
Or with James, but I don't know.
And then there's like Max gets a break every 15 minutes where he can go.
Well, I mean, in the right circumstance, if I had to prepare.
Yeah.
And there was we had my wife making us cocktails, and we just kind of, we got comfortable.
Okay.
I feel like if I could wrap my head around it, we could
find a format that you'd do. Okay. All right. Well,
as long as it's varied and like different.
That's okay. That brings me to my next point. There's a lot of people writing in with very similar questions. When we talk to James, that's when I try to find the hot topics that we're getting from people and then send those, kind of in a more general form to ask him those kind of questions. So I apologize if I don't read yours. We're kind of trying to pick a variety. So that's it. No great answers here.
Just so you know, I think you're doing an incredible job.
Thank you. We're
keep up the good work.
Yeah. But back to our original listener who wrote in. Thank you for calling us out. We love it. Keep us honest. And look, if you got negative comments, we'll read up down to a 3. Was it a 3-star? We'll read a 3-star review and nothing below that. But no, it was great. Love keeping us in check. On to the next email. It says, hi, Dylan and Max. I think it was on your show that I first heard the expression, if you buy an elephant, you can't choke on the cost of peanuts. Was that a Jamesism? No, that was a ism from the former board of directors chairman of the board for a company that I used to fly for. No, it was great. That's when you knew he was in the side of the aviation corner.
Yeah, that's if you ever consider buying an airplane for yourself, that is the quote you should put on the in a big banner on the back of your hangar.
Yeah, the cost is the cost.
You buy an elephant, you can't go.
Yeah. So the
I've
email
said it's a terrible hobby. Do not get involved.
Yeah. Back to the email. It says, in any case, here's the guy that is making videos about the real cost of owning and operating an MU2. I appreciate his transparency. I have no idea how YouTube knew to suggest this to me, but I blame you guys.
Oh, is this Turbine Pilot or Turbine
this is I think we talked about this on a previous episode.
I know. We got to get this guy on.
I know.
I got some questions for him.
I'm gonna let you do a big collab on that one. Try to get him on the show. He says, enjoy listening to this man throw around maintenance figures like $100,000 as if it was a fancy dinner. That was just a little more than he wanted to pay. Take care. And that's from JP. I mean, the funny thing is that if you are in the business aviation world professionally, then the maintenance numbers aren't.
Yeah,
you're like,
great.
What? You're like, oh, this is what a deal.
Incredible.
Wow. Yeah, this is amazing.
If you paid $100,000 for a windshield.
Yeah, right.
one panel.
Yeah. So, anyways, great email. Thank you, JP.
My turn. Hey, Dylan and Max, longtime listener. Love the show. 2 small notes. One is Joe Costanza on YouTube would be an awesome guest to be on the show. He was a Spirit pilot who recently jumped to United and have always found his insight interesting. His recent video comparing the A320 and the 737 was great, and he may have said to me in the comments that he started listening to you guys recently. Huh. Have you heard of Joe Costanza?
I have not. I'm pulling it up right now.
What's the... Oh, George Costanza. That's who Sam's the Seinfeld guy.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, why does that sound familiar? Oh, second, another recommendation is Stig Aviation on YouTube. He has maintenance for American, and interesting to see the little intricacies of all the aircraft he works with. Very interesting perspective for sure. Possible guest as well? I don't know. He seems cool, though. Third thing, though, is huge, at least to those of us in training. When listening to an episode where you guys were talking about and recommending a credit card for business aviation, you talked about how some cards categorize purchases differently. This got me thinking, so I checked my statement. Sure enough, my Chase card categorized my large amounts of flight training as miscellaneous instead of travel. I called them, and I was able to get the last 12 months of it reimbursed. How reimbursed?
I mean, I think he means recategorized.
Like for the points or what?
Yeah.
Like for the multiple?
Yeah.
You must be. Okay. However, I missed out on a lot since a lot of my training has been being 12 months ago. I got reimbursed for the points to the tune of 30,000 extra miles, but it would have been trips that triple that had I realized this a couple years ago at the start of training. Just something I thought listeners still building out as myself should know. Wow. I wonder if they'll do that for my avgas purchases. That's travel, right?
You got to see how they're coding it. Yeah. This is a whole new thing.
This hasn't been on your radar? You're like the points guy.
Yeah, because I'm not really buying avgas, so.
All right. Point taken. Thanks for the great commute podcast, guys. I've tried to find other podcasts I like as much as yours, and I just keep coming back and waiting for the new episodes, LOL. Awesome work from Jacob. I thought that we're just a commuting podcast. A lot of people say that. Like, literally have nothing else to do. So, they just
sitting there listening BS. To you morons. Talk about melting pepper bowls and shitty advice.
Take what you can get, you know?
Exactly.
What are we going to do?
It's a good point. He makes a really good point. I would wonder, if you're going to a flight school, do a transaction, see how they code it, and then either see if you can change it or figure out what coding, whatever they code it, and find the credit card that gives the most amount of bonus on that categorization. It's a good point, Jacob.
Yeah, I'd never thought about trying to get stuff recategorized.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that.
You get that Idaho trip recategorized. Freaking points. What about all my maintenance woes?
Yeah. What could we? You know, would be good. What could we get MSP categorized as?
That's right. We could bankrupt Chase pretty soon.
Yeah.
Travel.
MSP,
5x on travel. Oh yeah, watch this.
What about your Starlink subscription? If you got a $10,000 a month, my Chase card gives me 5x points on internet.
Oh really?
I wonder if it'd be Starlink. Oh, if it's
you don't have Starlink?
Yeah. On the airplane.
Oh.
Imagine that.
Right.
50,000 points a month. Just
start.
Ding.
Yeah. So pretty soon he goes, all these airline flights home, can you just use my Starlink points?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let's quickly delete that. Okay, next email. Hi, guys. You guys asked several podcasts ago to share experiences commuting on your own plane. You read my email on air as a FedEx guy who commutes from Tulsa to Memphis for the 777. Max asked to let him know where I park. FedEx does not have ramp space for commuters like Southwest did at Love Field. For the first couple of years, I parked at Wilson Aviation across the way, but for the last couple of years, I park at General DeWitt Spain Airport. Tie downs are free. Gas is $4.54 a gallon. Jeez. It's categorized as travel. No, I'm just kidding. Gallon, and they let me keep my crash pad car inside the fence. If any bad weather approaches, they will automatically put me in the community hangar for $25 a night. I think it's a great setup. Yeah, I do too.
Gee, hopefully you didn't screw yourself. All the
wow,
FedEx.
Yeah. Should you want us to read this? It works good with a FedEx schedule because you typically have only one commute per month. Okay. Do the 1 hour, 45-minute flight in the late afternoon, go to the crash pad and get 8 hours sleep, then report at 2:30 a.m. for your 10-day trip around the world. Land at midnight, finishing a trip, sleep till you get up, then fly home. Quite a bit different than my SWA schedule. Dylan, you are right. I hardly ever have weather problems, so it is a reliable commute. The one time I did, I just took the FedEx jump seat to work as a backup.
I think we might have read this.
Yeah. Keep up the good work. Love the podcast. That's from Freight Doug in Oklahoma. Did we read that?
I think so.
All right.
Hey, guys, just heard about the layover guide. I'd like to add the Herradero in San Jose del Cabo. They have the lava bowls and the molajete. They're burning hot rock bowls with meat and cheese and ... I don't know what that means. So hot, you should keep the kids away. Super tasty.
Ooh.
I also think it would be great to have Bozeman on the list as ski season is coming, and Big Sky is super popular for us PNW crews. Sun Valley too, I guess, although Bozeman was way cooler for things to do. I'll start with Sidewinders in Bozeman. It's an aviation-themed restaurant and sports bar. Tasty pizza. Love the podcast from Blair. Bozeman is good too. What's that rooftop?
Oh, Sky Shed?
Yes,
yeah,
Sky Shed.
All right, well, I've got good news for you. Since this email came in, Blair and I collabed, and the Bozeman layover guides are already published.
Unbelievable.
Well, this new system is much easier to fire out. So that's already on the website. So thank you, Blair, for your help. I am a Bozeman regular, so I was able to throw a lot of my favorites in there, and he validated and added a few as well. So yeah, ski season is coming. Bozeman, popular spot. Another place where the Element Hotel is very popular with the crews. I think even Southwest stays there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a hot zone.
Yeah, that's right in the zone. Very nice.
Fun.
Very good.
Very good. Very, very good.
Very.
All right. Next email says, my name is Tony. I have been listening to your podcast since late 2023 after hearing about you guys from a client in G280 Pilot Recurrent. I'm actually an instructor at Flight Safety in the G280 program. I am based at the DFW Center. I had the pleasure of having Max in my October 2024 live learning course. However, I didn't even realize it was the Max of the 21.5 podcast in that recurrent. Would have asked for a sticker. I am sorry. I was not the live learning instructor for the October 2025 course. Maybe next year, Max. I should still be around, although I may be in the G300 program by then. Really enjoy the 21.5 podcast. As a ground-only instructor, I really learned so much from the podcast. Well, that could be alarming, potentially, so just be careful. It helps me to learn and know more about being a professional pilot. I just listened to episode 89 on the way into work today. I totally understand Max's frustration and concerns with ground and flight training. I know where you are coming from with your frustration with newer instructors. I can tell you that new instructors do go through a process of training with other instructors and SIC instructors before they come into contact with actual clients. It takes time for instructors to really get a good flow and become comfortable in the classroom and the simulator. Just know that I know exactly where you are coming from in your frustration and concern. As for using fleet data in training like the airline goes, I know a while back FSI had a system in place to utilize FOQA data to make simulator training better and more beneficial. Max, as you know, my recurrent ground courses are more based on what we are actually experiencing in the fleet. I think it would be great if we had FOQA data to help us focus more on what we are actually experiencing in the fleet. I am trying to gather data from some FOQA gatekeepers at some flight departments to help us know more about what we should focus on for flight training. I'm glad you brought all of this up. I will be speaking with my program manager soon to get you onto a list, red flag list, do not fly with list. No, speaking with my manager soon to get to see where we are at with the implementing FOQA data in ground and flight training as a company. Thanks, Dylan and Max, for all that you do for the pilot community. And that's from Tony.
Tony, thanks for listening, man. This guy's the best.
That's what it sounds like. I like it, Tony.
I think at some point, dude, they're going to have AI teaching these ground schools. Like, no headache. They aggregate all of this data. It's consistent.
You got to trust AI first.
I know.
The problem is AI still hallucinates information at a pretty alarming
that's what
rate.
I said not tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know. AI does.
Just hallucinates information.
Do you check AIs against each other?
Oh, yeah, all the time. When I was building the AI for a systems, I saw an idea and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if you had like in the Bombardier, we have something called the FCOM 2, which is sort of like the big textbook, right? It's not the operating manual, but it's sort of the information manual about the systems, right? So if you want to read about a system, that's where you would go. Like, wouldn't it be nice if you could quickly just like text an AI that had that manual in its reference library, and then it could be, be like, oh, what's the tire? What do I need for the tire pressure for the nose wheel or whatever, and it could just boom, quickly spit it out. So I tested it with some systems and asked it questions, and it would like blatantly give me the wrong answer.
Dude, and I did like, the same thing.
What?
With
and
you'd
ask it again. I'm like, read it again, and then what's the answer? And it was like, no, it was the AC versus DC hydraulic pump, which we only have DC powered electrical hydraulic pumps on the Challenger, and it kept saying it was AC, and it's like, yep, it's an AC, and I'm like, no, it's not.
I know. That's why ChatGPT.
Yeah,
that's why I am switching to Grok, because Grok is maximal truth seeking. That is the basis of Grok. That is, and dude, so there was a third party that did this comparison of all the different AIs. And it asks for valuing human life between different religions and races and all this stuff. Grok is the only one that valued human life equally. That's telling. I'm sorry, but like
that was very revealing. Yeah, when they did that,
it was right. I think it was during the big DEI push and stuff, and so it was like valuing, minority groups much higher because they were disadvantaged in the AI's view. But like, it doesn't matter. Like that's a problem. If AI can delineate more value between one human life than another, like that should cause you to stop and think for a minute. Yeah. And that's Grok is according to Elon, is maximally truth seeking, and that's so. Because I've had the same thing. I uploaded our contract to AI. And said, you can only reference this document for answers to this, and you have to cite the section and everything. And it still comes up with BS answers, which is interesting because our union now has an AI contract assistant.
Well, remember, we talked to a couple years ago, your president, and he said they were working on it. Does it work well?
It's out. Yeah, it works good, but it certainly isn't perfect, because in this group thread, one of our friends, Chris, had said, hey, I asked the contract AI question about this. It was some sort of like duty day when traveling home from training or whatever. And he said it couldn't come up with an answer. So I asked the one that I had, and it came up with these answers that were total BS, like out of the retirement section of the contract. It was, and so it's AI is great, but be wary.
Yeah, it's just you have a very powerful power tool that you just maybe shouldn't always be using, and you got to know, like,
plus Grok you can put in unhinged mode, which is really funny, or you can put it you can have a lot of fun. Did you hear Elon on the latest Rogan? He's like, if you know, in his way, if you want to have a lot of fun at a party, just take a picture of somebody at the party and then put it up in Grok and have him roast him at his appearance, and then just say, what if get more unhinged, more unhinged.
Yeah. You can actually now upload documents to Grok.
I know.
There's the show, So anyways, it's interesting. I don't know how we got on the AI tangent, but
you're always on the AI tangent.
Oh my gosh, just
Mr.
AI songs. It's all happening. I have a new song to reveal to you here in just a second.
Music industry is cooked. That's how long until you can just take a book that you like. If I'm like, oh, have you read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand? And I'm like, oh no, and it's like 1,200 pages or whatever. And how long until you just upload, buy the Kindle, upload it somehow to AI, and in about 45 seconds, it'll just have a full feature, like a series. Like instead of just having to condense it all into a movie, you know how they just make series now, so it's like essentially a 10-hour movie.
Yeah,
like how that's
coming. Yeah,
that's right around the corner, dude.
My brother-in-law wrote
it. Matthew McConaughey, anymore to acting on site in Greece, like when you could just have it done like that.
My brother-in-law is an author. He wrote an incredible children's book, Caverns of Cracklemore, which I'll actually list in the show notes because it's an awesome book. He's an independent author, self-published it, did the whole thing, getting great reviews. And we were just saying the other day, it's only a matter of time until we can make a full-length movie or series on this book, based on this book.
We're going to be laughing. Remember when they used to pay people to read these books for an audiobook? Yeah. You believe that? You mean they used to pay people for that? Like, we're just watching every day. Crazy.
God, we're going on so many tangents here, but I want to give you a book recommendation right now. Yeah, exactly. I want to give you a book recommendation right now. We're doing it on audio, which I recommend, but the book is called Project Hail Mary. It's written by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian. It's also going to be a movie in 2026. It's pretty science, like chemistry and biology heavy, but it's pretty interesting. If you like The Martian, you're going to like it. Ryan Gosling's going to be the actor in it, or the lead in the movie, but worth reading before the movie comes out. It's really good.
Really?
Yeah. And we just do it on Audible and just listen to it, and it's really good.
I have an Audible subscription. Yeah, send that to me.
Project Hail Mary, you're going to like it.
I'll check. What are your top 3 podcasts other than this show that you listen to?
So I'm going to give you one that's not a podcast, that is a podcast, which is weird. So
can't just answer the question.
You know what spaces are on X?
Mm-hmm.
So where it's basically a live show.
Yeah.
A lot of them record it and then re-release it as a podcast. I like listening to about one of those because it's so much different than a regular podcast, right? It's not 2 people having a conversation. It's
group
hundreds.
Format.
Yeah. It's totally so. I enjoy that. I like that also because that can be more of a pop in, pop out. So I'm working in the garage. I turn that on and I'm walking around. Maybe I don't listen to every single word, but it's kind of cool, and the topics change a bit, and you always get different opinions. So anything like that, I think is
top 3
pretty interesting.
Quickly.
Still love the Bill Simmons show during football season. I knew you were going to say
Bill Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons with cousin Sal on their recap of the week is really good. I love a podcast called TFTC, which is like a Bitcoin and macro show, which is spectacular. And wow, I don't know if I can give you a third right now. I still love popping in to listen to whatever Rogan's up to. Usually, what about you?
My favorite podcast is The Drive by Peter Attia, who I've talked about on the show. I'd listen to every single one of those, and it gets very in the weeds. You have to be interested in the stuff, but Great show notes too. I wish you could. I subscribe to it so I get like the full. His show notes are unbelievable. But yeah, Tia, the drive. Well, you have to be. You got to pay.
Send them to me because I'm. What do you mean, like show notes? Like,
oh, dude, like all linked and like. Well, he gets very technical, right, with the health data. So a lot of it's like the technical stuff. Like it's if you're listening to the podcast, like a lot of times you have to be able to refer back to the show notes because it's very technical. But Acquired. Have you listened to Acquired?
No, I don't think I know that one.
Great podcast. It's about companies and it tells the story of companies. Like I just listened to one on Trader Joe's or Rolex, Porsche. I'm listening to Alphabet right now, which is Google's parent company. Really interesting to see the successful companies' path that they took to be different or innovate or whatever. And then also Sean Ryan. Do you ever listen to Sean?
Oh yeah, Sean Ryan's excellent.
You listen to that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what's funny about Sean Ryan? Why do you? Well, I'm going to ask you. Why do you think Sean Ryan has a successful podcast?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to answer your question exactly. The thing I love about Sean Ryan, and I get a lot of his clips right in my like the video clips. He never changes. He's always slumped back in the chair. His tone really never changes, and he'll be like, "So why is it that you think the aliens are really running the show or whatever?" Like, and he never changes his tone no matter what the question is that he's asking the guest. And it's just like the same sort of like relaxed monotone. Is it monotone? I don't know. I don't think that it really answered your question, but I like it because he will ask whatever question I'm thinking. And he gets really guests that are kind of out there or off the beaten path, which I love.
He gets good guests and he's maximal truth seeking. He doesn't give a shit about, he doesn't give he gives zero or given. Yeah. But part of the reason I think Sean Ryan is successful is that he's kind of dopey a little bit. Like sometimes he'll ask questions, I think, that a lot of people are thinking.
Yes.
That like Rogan is a pretty sharp guy and he's a great communicator and stuff. And I think sometimes he'll like, unless you listen and you take in a lot of media and like, you're like a steward of this stuff. Like sometimes you're forced to read in between the lines with Rogan and connect the dots. For Sean Ryan, just like sometimes he asks shit. I'm like, what? Like, really? Like, but I think that's what makes him successful is I think if you don't listen to a lot of stuff or you're not really super well informed or whatever, he
asks the basic question. He's not afraid to ask that like basic question.
But that's just kind of how he is. He's not trying. He's not making an effort to do that. He's just asking.
This is who he is.
And I think that makes him more relatable to a very broad audience.
Yep. And it's funny too, like because he'll like his variety is incredible. Like because he could be pigeonholed into like conspiracy theorists, / like special operations people. Like you could do those shows forever. But then he'll be like, well, I'm going to have a sex therapist on, and then next I'm having like a nutrition guy. And you're just like,
well, now it used to be very like special operations guys,
you're just like
focused, which I love. That's why I started listening to it because I love to hear those stories of these guys, but. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
sorry, Tony. To wrap up Tony's email here.
Tony is the instructor you always wish you had. Put it that way. Like he knows the material, he knows the airplane, he knows all that stuff, and if he doesn't know a question, he will find it. You can count on it. And then lastly, though, it's the anecdotal database that he keeps. Of people that coming through his class that are out there operating the equipment and what they say. Like that's where you get the value of. Next time I'm going to be like, listen, I'm going to email the training provider I go to and be like, listen, I just want to be very transparent and clear here. I understand you have to train instructors. I'd prefer them not to be with me, but if they are with me, I am expecting a substantial discount because I am the client, I am the customer. And if you give me not, the level I'm anticipating here of a normal training cycle, then
should they just offer different tiers?
If you're going to provide me less valuable training, I want to pay less.
Why don't they do that? They should do that anyways. Oh, you want the 8 a.m. sim? Okay, that's this price. The 10 p.m. sim, East Coast time.
If the training is good, fine. Like sign up
Yeah.
earlier. I'm booked 2 years out. Like that's why.
I know. I'm just kidding. I was just making a joke.
You're gonna get me all worked up again. No, just kidding.
Tony, watch out. You know what you should do, Max? When we send in write-ups to maintenance, how you just email the maintenance folks?
Mm-hmm.
You just CC Tony. Start CC, give him even more operational information. Add it to the database. Yeah.
That way he doesn't defect over to the 300.
Okay. No, that's
Don't
right.
act like it's that big of a difference.
The 300 Pro. Yeah, it's the same.
Calm down.
More windows.
You can cover the window size in about 30 seconds. Okay.
All right. That is gonna do it for this incredibly long mailbag segment today. Of course, brought to you by our friends at Aircrew Academy.
Are we going to do a flight advice?
We're going to do flight advice. We are going to do the one advice that we agree to.
Better be interesting and new and relevant.
Oh, you want something that's interesting, new, and relevant? Get ready, buddy. Because we got.
If there's a 1 hour call out involved, I'm just going to leave.
You're going to leave.
I can't put myself through that again. That had me tied up for 3 days.
He emailed us, and he's willing to do a call.
I bet he did.
He's willing to do a call with us.
We got to talk to Ty, dude.
I know.
His head is probably like, what? I didn't ask for this.
Yeah. He is air ambulance, like I suspected.
All right. Let's go. Who's reading this?
All right. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. First off, I've got something for you.
Careers in the climb and the journey ain't straight. From regionals to fractionals, it's never too late. Maybe you're burned out, maybe just lost sight. We'll help you level off and set that glide right. We've seen busted check rides, busted hearts too, but it's all pilot life and we've been there, dude. So tune in, drop a line, let's clear the ice. We'll keep it real. Welcome to Flight Advice. Harvey Watt got your back when you're down for the count. Life, health, disability, that's what they're about. From medicals to claims, they'll set you right. Keeping pilots protected day and night. So ride in your story, don't think twice. We got your 6. It's Flight Advice.
We can't quit now, dude.
Oh, there we go.
Because like I said, the music industry is cooked. That person does not exist, just for those of you that don't understand.
That was Reggie. Reggie wrote our new Flight Advice intro
ones and
song.
zeros, folks. There we
go. That is it.
Where do you go from here? Anyway,
That's
I can't go down that road.
When you're freestyle rapping about Harvey Watt's optional coverage is available to professional pilots, you've reached pinnacle.
How long did that? How long from when you hit enter? How long did it take to get that song spit out? Not including the entry of like, hey, I want it to sound like this.
Okay,
whatever. Just hit to crunch the numbers. How long
less
did that
than
take?
60 seconds, probably. And you get multiple versions, so you can pick which one you like.
I think Avicii probably saw this coming. That's the secret.
That's a dark observation, but okay.
No,
that was terrible.
I know. That's horrible. Sorry.
All right. Flight Advice brought to you by our friends at Harvey Watt. It says, my guys love the podcast for commuting.
Again.
Commuting.
Well, what are we love the podcast when I'm trying to hang out with my family. And
yeah, right.
I mean, what do we expect, right?
My wife hates me.
Yeah.
Okay, currently at a United Regional and have just passed 1,000 hours of 121 time. My company is not upgrading at a fast pace, maybe 5 to 8 a month, and I'm about 60th on the list. Just heard GoJet is hiring direct entry captains, but I'd have to commit to 1,600 PIC time with them or pay back $75K. They say that takes 2 years, but that's hard to believe. Yeah, I agree. They say I don't have to sign the contract, but no one who has refused to sign the contract has gotten a class date. I currently live in Reno and commute to Houston, so I would be commuting either way due to family reasons. Just want to know if it's worth commuting for 2 years with them for PIC time or just ride out my current regional for a while and hope I get picked up earlier by a major as an FO. And I have his stats, but we kind of got what was important. Currently flying about 700 hours. And this person is 33 years old.
You know, we've talked about a lot on this podcast, the outside the cockpit experiences, right?
Yeah.
People in this situation, they're very narrow-minded. He's like, well, should I go to this regional or this regional? Because I'll get more PIC time here and here. And then there'll just be another dude with a, CRJ PIC time, blah, 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 blah. Instead of like trying to figure out another way to do what you're already doing, I think a lot of people in this situation should look, with a much broader vision and go find something to do that sets you apart from the rest of the RJ captains that you're going to be up against when you apply to that major. So you already live in Reno, you got your program set, you know how everything's going. You don't want to go to long term again. Like he says here, he's been married
in dock the whole time.
Married with a 1.5-year-old and one on the way. Like, bro, now is not the time to start over and on the hope, 2 hours to get that 1600 PIC. Like, that's a big gamble. Like, if you're ambitious and you want to do more to accelerate things, find something to do that is different than pursuing your dreams as an RJ captain. Go volunteer, do whatever. Like, there's a million different things you could do that we've talked about on the show. And if you're a listener, we're not going to rehash it all here. Or if you want to rehash it all, you can call James and pay him and he'll tell you all of the strategy. But that's my take. There's enough of this like jumping ship to try and get more PIC time quicker here, there. Like, everybody's going to have PIC time. Everybody's going to have RJ time. And how much time you need is going to depend on where things are at currently that there is no way to predict. So do something outside the box that will set you apart from everybody else with regional jet PIC urban time.
Direct entry captain. From the experience of our classmates who did it, it did not go well.
Yeah. You're an FO now.
Yeah.
Think about how you feel.
Well, here's the thing that people don't expect. You've been on a seniority list. You know what it's like to climb a seniority list. When you're a direct entry captain, you never climb the seniority list.
Yeah.
You're always the bottom guy. You're always on ready reserve. And every month, a new FO at your company that's senior to you is upgrading on top of you. So you never move up. Them telling you that you're going to fly 1,600 hours in 2 years to fly 800 hours on reserve seems highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely. Maybe it's possible.
But that's the thing, dude. Like,
and the other thing is that your company is upgrading people. You're not that far away. You listen to Max. Spend the next few months while you're waiting for the upgrade right now because everything's in gridlock. But that, as you know, in this industry can change at the drop of a hat. You spend that time volunteering with the union, getting involved somewhere, waiting for your upgrade, trying to become the best captain you can be beforehand. James talked about how to do that as an FO in a previous episode. And then when you get that opportunity, then you can pounce. But I am highly against the direct entry captain move.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, I'll just say that, like, broadening horizons and finding some outside the cockpit, it doesn't have to be aviation related.
Correct.
Like that. Don't think that, like, oh, you got to go volunteer at, the Young Eagles or something. Like, you can do something else. Hopefully you have
something you're into.
Other interests. Yeah, other interests besides aviation and volunteer or whatever. Like, that's the benefit of being an airline pilot, even at the regional level, is that you do have some time, like during the week, likely.
Yeah.
Like, while your kid, well, his kids are probably not at school, but who knows? But
yeah.
Anyway, enough said.
Yeah.
We'll keep the flight advice short this time.
It's short. There you go.
We don't.
But I think you can't. It's too hard to be on a seniority list and project movement for more than a couple months out. It's just it's a waste of time. For example, I was at American Eagle. Every other regional was upgrading except American Eagle, and it was taking forever. But guess what? When things started moving, we were upgrading the same, a couple a month. It was super slow. But then all of a sudden, it went to 20 a month, then 50 a month, and that acceleration can change so quickly that it is, and it can be very unpredictable, especially at regional airlines, where a lot of it has to do with contracts that they get with the majors. Oh, we signed a new contract to fly another 10 170s for, and then all of a sudden something changes, or the flip side of that is, as a direct entry captain, you go somewhere and then, we lost the contract with, Northwest Airlines or whatever. And the example I'm remembering from our friend. And then all of a sudden you're just totally flushed. So.
Got it. Wrap it up.
That's it. Thank you for writing in. That was a good flight advice. One that I felt like we hadn't addressed before. That's why I picked it.
Good. Well, it's good.
It's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good work. Thank you.
Hey,
Dylan, I want to thank you for sifting through all of this media that comes our way. I will keep, listen, here's the commitment I'm going to make to you, Dylan. I will keep flying the Cub and doing things I love to create content, and you
handle all. You do the rest.
I'll be the fun guy. Okay.
Yeah.
You
be the fun guy. I will handle the computer work.
Put those Birkenstocks on, sit down.
Apple Watch strapped in.
Yeah. Make sure you have the Apple Watch on, one of our branded 21.5 hats, and you sit down and you just
ship out stickers, coordinate scheduling. It's all.
Wait, no, I don't coordinate scheduling.
No, you do the opposite of coordinating scheduling.
I mess up all.
You throw grenades into the schedule. Oh, it's sunny out. I think we're going to go fly the Cub instead. Tell this guy we'll talk to him next week.
We live in Arizona. It's always sunny.
The rocks have been cleared off of the strip up on the mesa. We've got.
Listen, Dylan. Priorities, okay?
That's right.
You can only live once.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. It's good.
One day, you'll leave this world behind.
That's right. You look back and you'll say,
so live a life you can remember. Who said this?
Shout out to Avicii, right?
No, Tiesto. No. Come on.
Oh, Tiesto. I'm sorry. Oh,
all right.
Yeah, enough references there. Okay.
Wait, what were we going to say?
I was going to talk about a different DJ, but I think we actually already talked about it. I was going to tell you he's performing at the Bird's Nest. That guy.
Oh, no, we talked about it.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone cares about John Summit and his performance.
Well, remember what did we do? We turned to John Summit. We made a John Summit song.
Yeah, I told you to. What song was that?
I know, I can't remember now, but it was popping.
Oh my God! Is it going to be played in a future episode?
We'll play it in a future episode when I can figure out what it was. You told me to make was it about James?
No, it was about something else. Hold on. What song? You do a house music song, sure. Oh, it was James O'Neill themed, but it was using a John Summit.
We'll save that for next time. James
good.
Is on that.
Yeah, next time he's gonna love it. He probably knows who John Summit is, right?
James is out there, man.
He probably comes to Columbus all the time.
He flies the 340 out to. He follows him around. Tells us different conferences.
He's a groupie.
It's great. He's a groupie. All right. That's going to do it for flight advice. Listen,
flexibility, key to air power.
Hang on a sec. Listen, we're doing our best to get to your advice. If you need something, we're doing our best. Thanks to all of our sponsors: Timothy P. Pope, Advanced Aircrew Academy, VersJet Sales, AirComp Calculator, Pro Pilot World, Harvey Watt, James O'Neill, the whole crew that come together and fund this little operation. Apparently, we're taking the money to pay for our kids to go to complete flight school. That's the whole reason we're doing this podcast now at this point. I don't know. Until next episode, just remember,
flexibility is the key to air power. Respect your body.
See ya.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Sunday vibes, but Max don't chill. Dylan holding down the mic while the kids learn skill. Flight sim dreams turning to stores on repeat. Podcast bought the rig, now it's chaos in the seat. To new life hitting hard through Newark pain. Cancellations, first class curses, delays insane. Jump to JFK, think you're dodging the mess. Till a 2-hour Uber ride humbles the stress. ATC meltdown, GA bands in the mix. Teterboro tales in New York traffic tricks. Crew life, hotel rants, and steakhouse lore. Another week, another saga on the aviation tour. Max in the Cub getting nasty on the strip. Shock struts flexing while the desert winds whip. Off airport landers, tail wheel finesse. Pushing close to the trees, comfort at its best. Chicago talk, deep dish takes a hit. Rooftop vibes, El Chingón, spicy kid. Crash pad days with the garbage man crew. PBR wisdom from a foe coming through. Mailbag lit with the commuter crowd. Layover guys dropping, making Chicago proud. Flight advice coming in faster than they can read. Just two pilots trying to help the next one succeed. It's the frequency, pilots tuning and vibe. 21.5 where the pros come alive. Checklist, jet fuel, and stories that fly. It's the cockpit crew, now let's take it sky high.
The statements made in this show are our own opinions and do not reflect, nor were they under any direction from any of our employers.